So I recently purchased the Snugpak Cave 4-person 3-season tent. Set it up in my backyard. And this is going to be a water test using the standard lawn sprinkler. So I'm using a standard lawn sprinkler to test the water repellency of the Snugpak Cave 4-person tent. The water does seem to just roll off the material, the fly. No substantial pooling anywhere. So I'm inside the tent during a water test now. I think the lawn sprinkler represents sort of a medium rain. This is the back vestibule with the zipper door completely open and stored in the pocket. Moving towards the front vestibule. There's minor pooling of the water, but it doesn't take very long for it just to roll off at some point. No major pooling. You can see at the bottom of the fly around the vestibule, as the ground gets wet, it seeps in towards the door. But I don't see any way to avoid that. It's not leaking through the fly, it's just soaking into the ground. You can see that the corner from the rain, this water, is pretty wet. But if I come inside, even though you can see light through the fabric, you can hear water underneath it, but it's dry. There's no moisture at all. So the next test of the water repellency of the tent, I don't know, it might be unfair, but let's say you just put your tent in the wrong place and there's a lot of water moving maybe through a channel in the ground, puddling under the tent. I've put the hose full blast right at the underside of the tent. You can see there's a lot of water coming out through the back, through the corners, so we'll let that run for a little bit, get inside and see what we have. So the hose has been running right under the floor of the tent for about 5 minutes. You can see substantial pooling in the vestibule. You can also see that there is water obviously underneath the floor of the tent. You can see a big puddle right underneath the tent. But that's dry. Do a little more critical test. I'll place a dry paper towel and then a 25-pound weight representing maybe a pressure point, your hip, your shoulder. Well, let's let that sit there for a minute. There's obviously substantial pooling under the tent floor on the other side. And it's amazing, you can see through the fabric. You can see the water pouring out of the hose. Oh yeah, this is a puddle under here. I mean, it's like approaching waterbed, but it's completely dry. Let's go back and test where the weight was. So 25-pound weight in a puddle of water under the tent, completely dry. I'm impressed.